Hello, welcome back to the Pink House Mystery, Part 3. I'm Bruce Stott. Before we begin, I'd like to point out this family memorabilia I have in the picture here, which is a Pink House model made for my mother Juliet Stott by a client carpenter. A few of the features of interest, if you look a little closer, would be the pop-up cupola. There's a place for someone to leave a note or a key. It also is a birdhouse. Perches for the birds here, and you can go in here and here. It's hard to see, but you know what I mean. I'll spin to show you the south side, the back side of the house, which is not to scale, but you get the idea. There's another little place for a bird here, and what would have been the kitchen window. And I'll leave this exposure for you to look at while we begin the story, which involves this part of the house. So let's begin. On a calm, hot August evening in 1960, Dad asked us if we wanted to go out for a boat ride, with the tide being just right. An evening adventure. We walked to the Plum Island Basin nearby from our house. It was a former summer cottage. Dad bought and rebuilt it in 1951 on 51st Street, the Newbury side. We had moved to the island from Norman Avenue in the north end of Newburyport when I was 2. Doctors recommended Dad move out of his factory home in North Andover to live by the coast for cleaner air for his terrible allergies and asthma I would inherit. We piled into the boat and motored out in the still evening from the basin and into the Merrimack River, taking a left to go south, puttering along to the Plum Island Bridge, past Woodbridge Island and Joppa Flats. Mom stayed home to talk with Sister Charlotte up from Arlington, Virginia. The sun hung in the August sky as he guided the bow to starboard under the telephone pole piling bridge. He used the most right of the 3 approaches. The boat took us up a creek that wound around through the marsh. It was Plumbush Creek, a new creek to us, with perpetual water, like glass, broken by the boat's wake, lapping up on the grassy creek banks. But he knew where to go, as we scared up an unsuspecting duck or heron, squawking away. We drew the boat up on the marsh bank and walked over the prickly marsh grass on our bare feet to the back of the house. To enter a garage of this big pink house, to a 9-year-old boy, it was a big mystery. This ark of a house all by itself seemed floating in the middle of the tide is in a child's eye. We had been going by this once white, or was it yellow, but now pink, place for years. And now we were going in there. He had the key and let us into our wonder to explore the huge house. A simple kitchen and a dining room were divided by the back door to the south side, where we entered first from the garage, by half a dozen stairs twisting up to the first floor. The dining room led to a long living room with a real fireplace we could use constantly. A banister led up the stairs from the living room to the bedrooms and one bathroom on the second floor. We scampered from room to room and into the dry basement to discover this interesting place. Then upstairs to the second floor again we flew, exploring. We found a narrower door, ascending to the cupola by the dark bluish winding staircase. Access doors, halfway up, led to the dark areas under the eaves, and the eaves had a skylight as the sole source of light on the south side of the roof, to let out air when it was hot. Up more stairs revealed the cupola, sheathed in varnished beadboard inside with a gray floor, and a seemingly secret trapdoor to close the room up in all around you, as you looked out the windows, surveying the marsh, like the birds. It was a delightful treat. The interior of the house was stuccoed, with cove molding and hard southern pine doors throughout. It was clearly a house built to last, with a double cellar poured, cedar guttering, rimmed the upper roof perimeter to allow the rainfall to collect down to the 1,000 gallon freshwater cistern. The sprawling decks on the north and east side were great to play on outside, where a lone hammock sat by itself. That was when the magic set in. Eventually we gathered together, all excited, and Dad asked, "How do you like your new house?" We were happily surprised indeed, for Mom and Dad had been in negotiation to purchase the house from the DeHarts for $10,000. We reboarded the boat, motored home that evening, 64 years ago, delighted about the new house, not knowing we would own it 50 years or that it would become quite popular. Giving up the pink house hurts a lot. Seeing her potentially demolished will kill a part of me. It's like losing a family member, and it's with a kind of trauma that I dread, no matter how we gloss over it. Thanks for listening to part 3. We'll have part 4 out next week for Halloween. Bye for now.